Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm drinking my McDonald's coffee, and I have gotten a very late start today. As you know, I posted a picture yesterday was Cinco de Mayo. I was literally driving down the road with my 8-year-old, and I was telling him that it was Cinco de Mayo. I had just dropped off my other son at baseball, and my 8-year-old, he says, "Well, Daddy, if it's Cinco de Mayo, why don't we just go to Mexican now?" And I said, "Well, it's always so crowded." And I looked down, it was 4 o'clock. I said, "It's so crowded all the time." And so I said, "I've never even been to a restaurant on Cinco de Mayo because they're always so crowded. I just don't go." And it was 4 o'clock. I said, "Well, you live once, let's do it." We drove there. We walked into the restaurant. It was not crowded. And I had myself a margarita and posted it on Twitter and some cheese dip. And it was good. And maybe that's why I'm dragging this morning. I don't know. Okay, so we had a little surge in XRP price over the last 24 hours. Let's look at what has happened. Went as high as $1.76, as low as $1.53 in the last 24 hours. And these guys, some of these guys called this. Rob XRP, he said our expected target of 164 has printed. There are two scenarios possible. One, we start our run up of 15 to 30% towards number 8, and where we range plateau here with a possible drop to 150 over 2 or 3 days before bursting upwards, XRP to the moon, right? And then Dark Defender said confirmed XRP is strong like a rock. She hit also 166 and touched 1777, and it's close to our next target of 184. Deers, I like how this guy talks. Dear, she is again forming a coffee cup, and you know what is happening after the coffee cup. Enjoy your day. Somebody else said something about a coffee cup. Maybe I'll show it. I don't remember. It says, this is Crypto Wizard. XRP, XRP BTC both closed bullish today. This bullish impulsive move should lead to a successful breakout above that, which will trigger more bullishness in XRP. $1.95 is the next major resistance target. And then Credible Crypto says bottom is probably in. Send it. And here's his little chart. So the bottom is probably in. And look where when he says send it, he's everybody consistently is talking about this thing blasting through $2. Okay, I wanted to show this tweet because I couldn't remember if I had shown it yesterday. First out of from Neat's Bucks. First out of nowhere, Stefan appears with Codius. He's referring to the tweet where Stefan Thomas out of nowhere starts tweeting about Codius as if it's always been here, which I think it has, but we were led to believe that it was dead. And then he appears with Codius plus ILP news, once thought dead. Then Ripple hires a U.S. treasurer to their board. Then PolySign gets a bank charter. I promise you PR, especially in a lawsuit, is carefully planned. It's been a hell of a week. I would agree with him on that. Now, I want to show you this. This is from this guy, Jeff. Says the process, this is Rosie Rios. She's talking about her process when she's deciding to work for a company or project. And while you watch this, I want you to ask yourself this question. And I'm sorry, Rosie, that I froze the video at this point because you've got an eye that looks like I didn't mean to do that. But anyway, while you watch this, I want you to ask yourself, before Rosie Rios put her reputation and her career on the line, or her resume on the line, to go and be on the board of directors of a company that's being sued by the SEC, do you think that someone that thinks with this type of thinks through processes like she talks about in this video, do you think that's a person, or anybody of her status, do you think those are people who would not pick up the phone, talk to some people at the Treasury, to pick up the phone, talk to some people at the SEC, which she could obviously do, before she made that move? I think that she's a person that I think that people at this level know answers before they make decisions. I think that they get to talk to people you and I don't get to talk to and know things that you and I don't get to know. But here's her thought process.
I learned in terms of how to analyze. Now, I'm an analyst. I call myself an analyst by trade. How you look at an investment or a project or a program, the process, the rigorous process that you go through for any type of analysis is the same thing that I still use today for everything. And so, when I think about it, kind of make a very basic, existing conditions, case study, precedent, analysis, recommendation, implementation, that exact same process I use for everything. So for all of you who think, how is this going to come in handy? What am I ever going to use this for? How do you train your mind to be in that due diligence mindset? I'm telling you, it's the best thing, one of the best things that's ever happened to me, because again, that very thorough, deliberate, thoughtful process.
Yeah, I wonder if she did any due diligence before joining Ripple's board of directors, who's being sued by the SEC. I think you can pretty clearly see that she did, and that tells you everything. Zero Hedge put this out. Russia is prepared to disconnect from SWIFT payment system, says the foreign minister. Okay, there are no coincidences, folks. Okay, Jeremy Hogan had tweeted this out. The SEC is bringing in 2 lawyers from Chicago to assist with the case. The lawyers have 18 to 20 and 25 years experience, so these are senior trial lawyers. I would say this means that the SEC is calling in reinforcements. He says it could mean the SEC just needs more help because Ripple is fighting back hard, or it could mean that someone decided that there needs to be a new lead counsel. My guess, the older Chicago attorney will be the new lead, as you don't need a 25-year lawyer just to help out. And then Bon Cripp had put this out. SEC is bringing in 2 new lawyers from Chicago to assist with Ripple lawsuit, one of which specializes in settlement issues. The 2 guys are Robert McDonald Moye and Benjamin Hanauer. And then Jungle Inc. had put this up. Ladies and gentlemen, you might want to load up on XRP. Look up the new attorney the SEC is bringing in. They specialize in negotiating settlements. And this is the clip here, or the section he put up. I help conclude complex investigations, provide advice to SEC senior officials regarding charging decisions, and negotiate settlements. And then we had John Deaton weigh in. At this, he's retweeting this from his law firm Twitter handle. J.W. Verrick quotes Kenny Rogers, "You've got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. This is useful advice for the SEC in the Ripple case. SEC should drop litigation over Ripple's XRP token." And then he says this: at this point, they can do one of 2 things: start talking settlement with Ripple, or dig your heels in deeper and fight even harder. Of course, by now, they really have a good idea what these documents and emails regarding Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP say that must be turned over. Well, in this spirit, I decided that I would put out some more information on the Ethereum ICO, just because I think that any documentation that's out there, because remember, the SEC declared William Hinman, not the SEC. He said it was just him. They came out and declared Ethereum not a security in 2018. But what that means is from 2014, when Ethereum did the ICO/pre-sale, from 2014 to 2018, the SEC decided not to enforce the law and they wanted to wait for some reason for Ethereum to become decentralized, because that's what they said made it a non-security. So the question, if I was the judge, is this: Why did you not enforce the law from 2014 to 2018? Instead, you waited for Ethereum to become what you call decentralized. And meanwhile, Ethereum's 27-year-old co-creator is now the world's youngest crypto billionaire. So this guy gets off completely scot-free with a free pass, but nobody's answering the question why. Why did they ignore the enforcement? Because they admitted and they admitted that Ethereum was a security, that this was a security, okay? So if you admitted that it was a security and that it had become not a security, then why didn't you enforce the law on Ethereum when it was a security? Because that's your freaking job. That's my question if I'm the judge. And I also included this document. This is the terms and conditions of the Ethereum Genesis sale that was, I mean, you can find this on the internet freely. You want to, I would make sure the judge had this in her hands, because this, I would, if I'm a judge, I read through this and I look over at the SEC attorneys and say, why in the hell are we here? Why are you people picking and choosing winners and losers? Why are you people not enforcing the law against some things and trying to enforce it against other things that are completely different? It doesn't make sense. What's going on? This also doesn't make sense. And I said this would be a fun document for the judge to look over in the Ripple case as well. The intended use of revenue. Document showing how they plan to use the pre-sale ICO revenue. They literally outline how they're going to use the money for this. And they're telling you that they're going to use the money that they've got coming in, delivery, development of Ethereum platform and tools. If that's not a common enterprise, then nothing is. I don't understand. Well, maybe I do understand what they did here, but there's a reason. There is a reason that this was ignored. I don't know the reason, but if I was the judge, I would ask the SEC, why did you ignore this? And why are you picking and choosing who gets to go through the gates and who doesn't? Why did Jay Clayton and William Hinman do so? Those are the questions I would want to know. Treasury Secretary, this is from Bank XRP, Treasury Secretary Yellen says U.S. does not have framework up to the task of regulating cryptocurrencies. While we're here, let me tell you how I think this thing ends. This is purely my opinion. I believe that based on everything I've read and seen, I believe that Gary Gensler and friends at the SEC are about to throw their hands up and say, or Gary Gensler is, I think this is the way this ends. I think that he's going to say, you know what, we're going to leave this to the Treasury and Congress. And I think that they're going to drop this thing. I just have this feeling that Gary Gensler's about to say, we're going to let Treasury/Congress determine this framework, and we're going to step out and defer to them, because that's what Charles Gasparino on Fox said. He said that his sources are telling him that the SEC is going to defer to the Treasury, and that's what this all sounds like. And we saw Congress a couple of weeks ago put through some legislation. This feels like they're going to step aside and defer to the Treasury/Congress on how this framework comes out. And also I wanted to show you this. This is cool from Bank XRP. Newly appointed Ripple Board of Directors Rosie Rios will star in a new streaming series, Unicorn Hunters, May 10th, 2021. That's pretty cool. And I went and looked at their website. And what you can do is you can go here and sign up to be, they're going to basically watch pitches from different startups, and then I guess they're going to invest, and you can actually sign up to be one of the investors in the startups. I'm going to sign up for it. Okay, breaking news, the U.S. Treasury Department says it will employ measures to avoid an unprecedented default on the national debt this summer. Well, what are you going to do there? How are you going to do that? Well, the first thing, you're not going to pay it off. So if you're not going to pay it off, what are the other things you can do? Who knows what the freaking plan there is? Okay, XRP James, he's the Digital Asset Investor Channel official former Navy SEAL of the Digital Asset Investor Channel. He showed me this video. Look, this is the Starlink satellites going across Las Vegas.
This is crazy, man.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm watching this. Now, on this channel, we've talked a lot about Starlink and what I think it is. I think that Starlink is for 5G. I think that Starlink is for putting the nodes for various digital asset networks on the satellites so that we have an intergalactic currency. You know what I also think, and I was actually talking to my dad, who's the official father of the Digital Asset Investor channel, about this the other day. There's a part of me that thinks that we've been watching one big large game where people are trying to make us think that the US and China are not on the same page, and Russia are not on the same page on this whole digital currency thing. And here's why I'm throwing that out there. Remember these, on satellites going into the next 100 years, it's not just 5G and nodes and things like, it's also freaking weaponry and all sorts of things. So here's my question. Elon Musk is putting thousands, not hundreds, thousands of satellites into low orbit around this Earth. Are you telling me that China and Russia are going to sit there without having any input into low orbit satellites that they can see from the ground that are going over the top of their country? Are you telling me that there was no agreement formed between all these countries on this? So, and once you get to that place, I mean, because remember, my whole life, anytime anybody put any kind of weaponry that could be like nuclear or anything like that, that's why we had the Cuban Missile Crisis back under Kennedy, is because the U.S. thought that Russia was giving, or the Soviet Union was giving missiles to Cuba where they would have, nuclear missiles that could be shot, right off our shore. It almost caused World War III. So that's my point. Are you telling me, I mean, now what can they put in the air on those satellites? Are you telling me that there were no discussions between U.S., China, and Russia over low orbit, thousands of low orbit satellites that are going to be going over the top of all these countries? And then we get to my next kind of, not really question, but my next thought. So if they would obviously have to have discussions, because that would be too much of a national security threat for all of those countries, because if we're doing it, they would be doing it. So then the next question is, have they all been on the same team? Because we've talked about how they're putting nodes on these things. Was the point all along, was XRP, XLM, DM project, all these things that could possibly have nodes on these satellites, was the plan all along to create an intergalactic currency but do something else, which is to create a trustless world, a world where none of the countries have to trust each other and they're all on the same financial system that everybody can see and is very transparent? Was this all, were digital currency, digital assets, as well as these Starlink satellites, was this all for the purpose of preventing World War III? Because I can tell you this, if China was putting low orbit satellites that we could see from the United States, look up in the air and see them, I think it would make some people pretty nervous over this way. I think there's a lot more in play than we even realize, personally. Everything I just said is just my opinion. Jonathan D, check this out. Many moves are happening without the masses understanding the importance. XRP is the oil in the new financial system. Everyone wants to own a piece. Now remember, as you look at this, Mike Novogratz, every chance he gets, he goes on television, he says, I just don't understand this XRP thing. Now this is a billionaire. This isn't some dumb guy. I just don't understand this XRP thing. I understand Bitcoin proof of work and Ethereum proof of work, even though I'm a billionaire and I know darn well that proof of work doesn't work and that it's too expensive, it can't scale, and it's too slow. I know those things because I'm a billionaire and I'm not stupid. But I just don't understand this XRP thing. But I am going to buy BitGo, which custodies XRP and is a Ripple partner. We're excited to announce our partnership, BitGo Inc., making it easier for businesses to leverage XRP for global transactions. BitGo and Ripple join forces to make it easier for businesses to use XRP. BitGo and Ripple join forces to make it easier for businesses to use XRP for global payments. There are no coincidences, folks. Now, I wanted to show you this. Ooh, let's see something here. All right. This is Link2. Link2 is one of my sponsors. And by the way, all of their links are in the description of my videos. And there's a link if you want to go and become accredited and you're not financially there yet. The SEC passed a new rule where you can go and get your Series 65 and become an accredited investor, because these guys are putting on this platform digital asset or blockchain type companies like Uphold, where you can buy these private equities on the Link2 platform, and that way you can diversify your portfolio and you can be investing in private equity and digital assets, and then you don't have all your eggs in just the digital asset basket, because both are going to win in this whole thing, folks. Make no mistake about that. There's a Link2 gave you 25% off. There's a link in my description. It's called ExamFX. They've got a 25% discount. It's for the course so that you can pass the Series 65. Go check that out. And I'm going to leave you with this, if I can get to it here. Billionaire Mindset. Change your thoughts and you will change your world. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that for the first time ever, I was thinking about splitting this video up into two and doing like a part 1 and a part 2, because it's 20 minutes, and I was thinking about breaking it up. Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. We'll see. Thanks for